Hi guys!
Hi.
We're here to talk to you about Disney stories.
Yeah, you've all heard them, like Little Mermaid, Hercules, Lion King, all those.
And we're sure you know them very, very well. However, there's one little thing they didn't want you to know.
You all know about the evil queen and the evil stepmom and just all those evil people.
Well, we're going to tell you about who they are and what they are.
Well, what person that is.
And that's the secret twist.
And it all begins with Once Upon a Time.
Okay, it all starts out in Hercules. There was fate number 2, not 1 or 3, mind you, but fate number 2. Right? Okay, so fate number 2, Hades comes up to her, and he's like, okay, you've done such an amazing job, but looky here, you're fired. And when I say fired, I mean you're gonna become a queen. But, you know, being demoted and all, so being alive from being dead, it's just not all that amazing.
So once Hades made her into a queen now, she decided to be, Snow White's stepmother, or queen, or whatever. And she was like, oh, I like this body. It's pretty cool. I'm a woman. I'm not old, and I got eyes. Not like, when I had to share an eye in the face. So she's like, so I'm so beautiful. So she talked to her mirror, and she's like, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? And you know what the mirror said? It said Snow White. Yeah, Snow White. So she was like, So she decided to be someone else's stepmother instead. And we all know who that is.
So, if you hadn't guessed, she then became Cinderella's stepmom. Now, you see, Cinderella was way more beautiful than her two adopted daughters, which were, in case you were wondering, Cinderella's stepsisters. But, you see, the thing is that the prince, when he came round, really, she wanted him, but she knew there was no chance, so the next in line would have been her daughters, which she would have taken over one of the bodies of. But, you see, the prince was like, I don't like you. I like this one named Cinderella.
Girlfriend.
Let me tell you. And so she wasn't too amused. So, the stepmom of Cinderella then moved on to become something much more evil.
So then she became Maleficent, which is, from Sleeping Beauty. And she didn't really like Sleeping Beauty, so that didn't really work out well.
So, when Maleficent didn't work out too well for her, she decided, okay, here's where the big ol' whammy comes in. She decided to become Gaston and get a sex change.
Dun dun dun!
So yeah, so she's Gaston, Beauty and the Beast, and Belle finds out, because she reads a lot, obviously, the little nerd. So after reading so much, she finds out, and that's the only reason why she wasn't all flirty with Mr. Gaston.
So after Belle rejected Gaston and all, he was all like, she didn't want me because of the whole sex change and everything. No, it was because of my hair. Yeah, because, all girls love blondes. So he decided to dye his hair blonde. And then he was like, you know what? I don't need Belle. So, he went across the ocean to the New World, ordinary Sunday and everything. And he met some chick named Pocahontas, which was like the daughter of like some chief from this tribe and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. So he fell in love with her. And, he was going to tell her the truth on how he used to be a girl and everything. But one day he overheard her and her friend talking about how she finds sex changes disgusting, how she would just rather have, either a guy or a girl, but nothing in between or anything. So he was all like, you know what? Polka sucks. So he just left and, yeah.
So, as I'm sure you guessed, it's all up in Aladdin now. But she didn't really have a big part in Aladdin. She was basically some random person on the street that you saw selling something for like a chicken or something. Anyway, so basically in the story, all that really happens is she falls in love with the genie. Yeah, not that interesting.
So, after the whole thing, being in Arabia and all, he, got a tan because he was in the desert the whole time. And he was kind of lacking color protection shampoo. So the whole dyeing blonde thing to his hair didn't really work out. So it just went back to his original color, black. And then after that, he started to not shave anymore, so he just grew this long, mustache. And he looked like a Hun. So he just decided to be the Hun's leader, and of course you can obviously tell that this happened in the story of Mulan.
So, well, as I'm sure you know, as long as you know the story of Mulan, obviously, the whole Hun thing doesn't work out too well. So basically, the Hun leader goes to some Chinese restaurant in China, obviously. And since the Chinese people don't like him, since, he tried to take over China and whatever, they fed him something, and basically, he fell into the water while he was standing nearby the sea. And we're not really sure what exactly happened, but some weird transformation went on right there, and he became some funky looking, octopus thing. And that is how Ursula was born.
So, as Ursula has all these magical powers and potions, she decides she's done being Ursula because everyone's hating on her because she's, the sea witch and all. So, she uses her magical potions and, well, by mistake, she becomes a lion. And she becomes Scar from The Lion King. And the whole Scar thing. He doesn't really end up being alive. So, he dies, and then he gets an unexpected visitor, which he thinks is, normal, a mouse. You see a lot of those everywhere. But it turns out to be Hades, from Hercules, but in just that mouse form. And he's like, Scar, you're dead. You're about to die, so you're pretty much dead. So I don't really have much to do with you anymore, so you're just gonna become a fate again. And the whole thing happened again. But wait! He didn't become Fate 1. He didn't become Fate 3. He became Fate number 2 again.
So, now you know that, he becomes a Fate again, so obviously it goes over and over again for forever.
And that's why we can watch our Disney movies over and over again.
So, that's pretty much the end.
Or is it?